All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is your host of the evening, DJJustJayOK. What I'm here to do is tell you guys about yet another funeral home story. And no, you guys are hearing this correctly. This is not Cantrell Funeral Home. This is a completely different funeral home in the city of Detroit, Perry Funeral Home. And yes, the stories get worse, and there's even more to report on the Cantrells. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about this particular story. Here's what happened. In a rapidly widening investigation of Metro Detroit funeral homes, Detroit police executed a search warrant at the Westside Funeral Home near Wayne State University, and they removed 63 remains of fetuses. They removed, I'll say this again, the remains of 63 fetuses, police said. Custody of the remains found at the Perry Funeral Home on Trumbull, just north of Warren Avenue, was turned over to the state investigators, who immediately declared the business closed. So they just closed them, and its license suspended, according to a statement from Michigan Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, otherwise known as LARA, L-A-R-A. Of the grisly total, there were 36 fetuses stored in boxes and another 27 found in freezers. Let's say that again. There were 36 fetuses stored in boxes and another 27 in freezers, which is what police said. Friday's discovery of decomposed remains follow a similar grisly finding last week at the defunct Cantrell Funeral Home on Detroit's east side, like we talked about a little bit ago, where there were 11 remains found, and an anonymous letter arrived in the offices of state regulators in Lansing. And I'm going to tell you guys this, that not only did they find more on top of that, but there were even more fetuses that were found on top of that at Cantrell. We'll take a pen, an ink pen, we'll take it, bookmark that part of the story, we'll come back to it. All right, let's keep going. Friday's raid at the Perry home came after Detroit homicide detectives also raided QA Cantrell Funeral Home in East Point to investigate a potential connection with the fetuses found in the ceiling of Cantrell Funeral Home in Detroit. And I'll say that for you guys again, because the QA Funeral Home got pissed off at me for saying that they were in some form connected with the other funeral home, which is Cantrell. It's a family name. They are connected. So one would have to assume if one is doing something as egregious as what they're doing here, then it would make sense that you might want to check with the other one, because the family name is indeed related. That's where we're basically going with this. It seems to follow logic, right? Now, detectives seized computers, business cell phones, and paperwork, according to a news release. They also raided the home of the owner, which is Annetta Cantrell. A-N-E-T-T-A Cantrell, the widow of the deceased founder of the Detroit home with the same name. Now, Detroit Police Chief James Craig said he was stunned. "I've never seen anything like this in my 41 and a half years as a police officer," Craig said at a news conference on Friday, adding, "It's disturbing, but we'll get to the bottom of it." Craig said the police were tipped off to violations at Perry Funeral Home by a father involved in a civil suit over the improper burial of his infant daughter. Shout out the fathers. Can we get a hashtag in the chat? Can we get a hashtag in the chat? Where are the fathers? Hashtag daddies count. I'm telling you, fathers count. So shout out to this father, man, and I hope that he gets his justice, right? Lawyers for the father, as well as the mother of the deceased baby, said that the parents are plaintiffs in a lawsuit, and that they hope will allow them to represent dozens, perhaps scores, of parents whose infant remains were improperly handled by Perry Funeral Home. The case could become a class action lawsuit representing every parent who comes forward with a similar complaint, Troy attorney Peter Parks said. We already thought we had a strong case, but then when they started hitting the news about the media about Cantrell, our clients agreed that we should take what we knew to the highest level of the Detroit Police Department, Parks said on Friday. Now, Parks said that he and his counsel on the case, attorney Daniel Cieslak, C-I-E-S-L-A-K, presented what they knew on Friday to a meeting led by Craig that included the FBI, Michigan State Police, Wayne County prosecutors, the Michigan Attorney General's office, and LARA, which is the state licensing regulatory affairs. You name it, everybody was there. The two attorneys said they believe that many more infant remains may be found in improper possession of Perry's funeral home, perhaps as many as 200. Maybe I'm speaking a little bit fast, guys. Let me say that again for the 141 people, 150 people that are watching. Please hit the thumbs up. I'm going to repeat that for you guys. Share the show. Let other people know that we're live. Please hit the thumbs up. My moderators, all I need y'all to do from time to time is let me know how many people are watching, how many thumbs up do we have. I'm going to say that again. The two attorneys said they believe that many more infant remains may be found in the improper possession of the Perry funeral home. Perhaps as many as 200. Did you guys catch that? Jamel, AP, Tony, Miss Parker, Athena, Danny, Dre the Dream. Did you guys hear that? Perhaps as many as 200 others. That's based on their research of logbooks kept by the Wayne State University School of Mortuary Science. Jesus Christ. What in the fuck is going on? Let's keep going. The funeral home routinely deposited infant remains at WSU school's morgue, then failed to follow up with parents' wishes for the remains to be used in research by WSU School of Medicine, they said. So if you guys wanted to know where the potential narrative is, there it is, okay? I'm really wondering where all the rest of them are, Seslick said Friday. The lawsuit filed by the two charges that Perry may have fraudulently billed Medicaid, which we can totally believe. I told you guys that this has something to do with money, as well as Detroit Medical Center for burials it never actually performed because it costs money. So, of course, they're going to cut corners. Why? Because that's what black folks do. Woo. The lawyers say that they can't estimate how much money might be involved, but it is significant, Park said. We're already having people calling us after seeing the news and seeing my videos, which I've been told, I've had people email me. I'm not going to put their names out there, but I've actually had people that have watched my videos and said that this is how they first found out about it, believe it or not, right? Yes, I did. Let me see. Let me go ahead and take a pause real quick because we had somebody ask for donations. So anytime that you guys donate to the show, I will absolutely take a pause and shout you out. Much love, Jay. Keep up the great work, brother. That was from Yvonne Y. We also had one more that came through from my brother in the chat. And that is, let me see. Hey, DJ, a little support your way. And this comes from AP. So there's a guy in the chat, Terrell. I got one from AP and I got one from Yvonne Y. Make sure you use the links in the description box. I believe that if you hit those, they should pop up. Let me make sure and double check. I know not to say this name. This is from my guy, L Smooth. Shout out to L Smooth. So yeah, I got one from AP and one from Yvonne Y. It's up to you, Terrell. Anything 4 quarters and above, I will give a shout out for. So I will leave that up to you. But as long as it's $1 and above, that's completely up to you guys. So I'll leave that up to you, brother. Here we go. Let's keep going. Parks and Seslak filed the civil lawsuit against Perry, also naming the DMC, Harper Hutzel Hospital, Wayne State University, and Knollwood Memorial Park Cemetery as defendants on behalf of Detroiters Rachel Brown and Larry Davis. So there's 2 people there so far. Their deceased daughter, Alaya, suffered at birth from severe respiratory problems and only survived 27 minutes after she was born on December 8th of 2014, they said. Her remains were among those improperly stored by Perry at the WSU morgue. If our class action gets certified, we will make every effort to identify every single one of those fetuses that have been improperly handled by Perry and to track down the parents, Park said. And I'm telling you guys, it's messed up, but that part is going to cost money, so I 100% understand that the money that they gain from this, if they win their lawsuit, which I think they have a high probability for doing, they should absolutely take that money and reinvest it to make sure that they do right by these people, because we're not looking to make a profit off of this. I hope to God they're not looking to make a profit off of this, just looking to do the right thing, give those children, these babies, these bodies, the burials that they should have had and the identities that they should have also. Okay? In a statement issued late Friday by inspectors for the State of Michigan Corporations Security and Commercial License Bureau, regulators in Lansing said they found what they quote as heinous conditions and negligent conduct. I'm sorry, got tongue-tied. Heinous conditions and negligent conduct at the Perry Funeral Home, including numerous failures to certify death certificates and obtain proper permits for burial. That's their freaking job. And yes, you guys can call in. You must email me at the email address right here, TheSoDoYouDig. Ask me for the call-in number, and I'll let you guys call in one by one once we wrap up this story, okay? So yes, Brielle, my brother, you can call in. Friday's findings point clearly toward criminal offenses of state laws regulating funeral homes that could be felonies punishable by imprisonment for not more than 10 years or a fine of not more than $50,000 or both, said in a statement for the agency. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and watch some of these videos. You guys have been seeing the pictures floating across the screen, and those bones that they found, those are actually pictures from what I understand to be from that funeral home. Guys, the shit is bad, man. So I'm going to warn the people. You're going to see some things and hear some things that you're not going to be comfortable with. So if you're not comfortable talking about death, if you're not comfortable talking about improper burials or anything like that, or if you just don't like my language, or if you just don't like my beard, click that X in the top right corner, exit my video. We'll see you on the next video. For everybody else, you got 5 seconds. We're going to show you some shit. I hope you guys understand. Let's go ahead and get this fair usage popping so I can go ahead and let you guys know what's really cracking over here at these funeral homes doing all this egregious stuff. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Thank you very much, fair use.
Yet another disturbing discovery inside a Detroit funeral home. Last night, police removed the remains of 63 fetuses. This is from the Perry Funeral Home on Trumbull. That discovery now leaving a lot of families with a lot of unanswered questions. Sean Lay joins us tonight with the very latest in the investigation that also now includes several funeral homes.
The next step in this investigation is identifying the fetal remains found hidden inside Perry Funeral Home. Right now, the home has been shut down, and that is upsetting a lot of families.
I want my mom's remains.
Vanessa McMath had services for her mom, Dolores, at Perry Funeral Home October 6th. Friday night, the state shut the funeral home down after at least 63 fetal remains were found hidden inside. Now McMath doesn't know if she can get her mom's cremains that are still here.
It was already devastating. My mom passed away so suddenly, and she was a big part of our family. And, she just, to find out this is going on, it's just one thing, it's another. You're trying to find closure.
And now there is no closure for dozens of parents who lost pregnancies at DMC Harper Hudsell Hospital. The hospital handing the remains over to Perry Funeral Home after saying it sent certified letters to the parents to claim the remains, but say they never heard back from any of them.
In our discovery process, we asked them for records of those certified mailings and or phone logs, and this is their response. They can't produce a single document.
Attorneys Peter Parks and Daniel Cieslak say they've uncovered documentation showing Perry billed Medicare for holding proper burials for those remains, when they also found they were checking large numbers.
Yes, several, absolutely. And the thing is I think that there's going to be more on top of this story. For the 184 people that are watching right now, please hit the thumbs up. There is more coming that I haven't already reported. They're just sitting in my email box right now. and I'm trying to wait and make sure that we get the proper research done. Guys, wait, there's more. I swear, this is getting crazy. Let's keep going.
Of remains into a cooler at Wayne State University's Center for Mortuary Science. This letter from June 1st, 2017, Wayne State tells Perry they can no longer house those remains. And in a deposition, Perry manager Gary Deek says he stored the remains in a freezer at Perry, the parents never having any idea this was going on. A civil suit has been filed against Perry and others for how those fetal remains were handled. In the meantime, Detroit police and now the FBI have opened a criminal investigation here for possible Medicare fraud.
Okay, this is the thing, guys. For people wondering, is it the parents trying to get out of paying? No. They have already taken care of their responsibility with regard to what they were supposed to pay. The majority of them, from what I understand, especially the two people that are suing, they did what they were supposed to do. Whether they were supposed to get funds from one place and have them allocated, or whether they paid out of pocket, from what we understand, they took care of their financial responsibility. Can we get a few more thumbs up? We only got 123. People are watching, but they're not clicking one of those buttons. If you would, just click the thumbs up. So to get everybody to understand, they've taken care of their financial responsibilities, and Perry Funeral Home is just outright dropping the ball, dropping the casket, no pun intended, on these particular families by not handling the burial. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. They're being paid. They're collecting money. They're not burying these bodies.
And with the latest on a Detroit funeral home where the remains of more than 60 babies and fetuses were discovered last week. A lawsuit filed earlier this year may hold the answer to how they ended up there.
Okay, somebody said, Miss Lynn Parker said there could be more in Cantrell. Miss Lynn Parker, I'm going to break that for you and tell you there is more. I'm going to confirm what you just posted in the chat, in the live chat. Yes, there is more bodies at Cantrell. I was hoping to wait, but that's okay. Yes, you're 100% right because that story is related to this one. So let's keep going.
Let's get right to the now's Kimberly Craig. She is live in Midtown right now with the very latest for us. Kim, what have you learned?
Yes, Carolyn, that lawsuit involves a couple that donated their infant's remains to Wayne State University's medical school for research, but instead they say their baby's body ended up being handed over to Perry Funeral Home.
It's reopening wounds that you thought were closed, and it's not allowing you to have the closure that you had thought you had had.
The lawsuit filed by Rachel Brown and Larry Davis names Hutzel Hospital as one of the defendants. The couple says the hospital allowed their baby girl's remains to end up going to Perry Funeral Home and then to a refrigerated area in Wayne State University's Mortuary Science program, where they were stored with dozens of other remains of infants and fetuses.
I'm going to let you guys know something real quick, because one thing that they like to talk about a lot is that they want to do stuff for quote unquote research purposes. Well, shout out to the schools that actually are able to handle that process and do their due diligence and do it in a way that coincide with laws, as well as being able to, there's even like a religious type, spiritual responsibility also behind this. So shout out to the schools that do take care of these, these cadavers, these bodies, these whatever, when they donate them to research. But damn, man. I mean, they're going to have to cut this research stuff out. I mean, if this is the type of stuff that's going on, because when you hand a dead body over to someone, over to a funeral home, you're just expecting for them to take care of what they're supposed to do, straight up and down. Let's keep going.
The couple says they never gave Perry Funeral Home or the Mortuary Science program authority to do anything with their baby. And they say Wayne State failed to obtain proper documentation from Perry Funeral Home, thus contributing to the mishandling of the remains. The couple filed a lawsuit, and as a result of depositions in the case, their lawyer says Wayne State University stopped storing remains for Perry Funeral Home, and that may explain why so many remains were discovered here on Friday.
In 2017, it's a very long story, they were all removed at once and brought back to Perry, is what our evidence suggests, at the request of the Wayne State School of Mortuary Science, due to these lawsuits. Essentially, get them out of here.
And when police came here on Friday, they found over 60 infant remains. Now, a spokesperson for Wayne State University says the reason they stopped accepting infant remains from Perry Funeral Home to store the infant remains is because they needed the space for embalming work. Now, coming up on Action News at 5 o'clock, question is, why didn't Perry Funeral Home cremate any of the infant remains they claim were unclaimed? We'll have that part of the story coming up at 5 o'clock.
Man, are y'all listening to this? We got 200 people. We've crossed over 200. I'm hoping we can get up to 300. Thank you, Iguzisme. I appreciate the compliment. Selling corpse is big business. Is it though? If it is, I certainly did not know that. I really didn't. That's news to me. Guys, there is more coming, man. I don't want to keep stopping this. There's more coming. If you would, 197 people, 200 people watching, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up. Let me give a shout out to, if you would, when you guys donate, if you will also leave in the comment, leave a comment and tell me like what your chat name is. I can give you proper credit, but I want to say thank you to the initials R and the initials D for first name and last name. Thank you very much for the donation. I want to shout you out for that. Guys, there's more to this story. Let's keep digging. No pun intended. Maybe.
News alert.
And breaking tonight, an horrific find at Perry Funeral Home, the second of two funeral homes where fetuses have been found.
Detroit police raided Perry Funeral Home today, making those disturbing discoveries. And just moments ago, the state of Michigan shut it down. 7
Action News reporter Allie Hoxie is live on the scene where it's all unfolding. Allie.
Well, police have just left Perry Funeral Home behind me, leaving the lights on inside. Here is what we know so far. Police have found 63 fetuses in total so far. 37 found in among 3 unrefrigerated cardboard boxes and 27 others found in freezers, all improperly stored, according to police. Tonight, I spoke with a mother who had a stillborn cremated here and has serious concerns with today's latest discovery.
I think about it every day. It's not one day I don't think about it.
Devisha Delahue says on May 23rd of 2017, she gave birth to a little girl, Deanna Michelle. But Deanna Michelle was a stillborn. Delahue says she came here to Perry Funeral Home to have her cremated. But when she got the ashes, she felt like something was wrong.
When I got them, I opened them up, and then instantly I just told my sister, my mom, say, this is not her. You know, I don't feel like this is my daughter.
Tonight, news of 37 infants and fetuses found in unrefrigerated cardboard boxes and an additional 27 found in a freezer is breaking Delahue's heart.
Wow. I know some of you guys are getting sick. Like I say, man, look, we're going to dig in this information. Just, guys, if you can't handle it, just, you know, be responsible. And just if you can't be here, I understand. We have to talk about this because we advocate for children first here at the So Do You Dig. This is what we're here to do, is talk about people being, you know, mishandling when it comes to handling children, even dead ones. So here we go. Let's keep going.
She worries the ashes that she got may not be her daughter's.
Freaking A said 63, and we think it's more than that. You're watching people in the chat that are posting things and saying that they're hearing about more other bodies that are being found, even like in Cantrell and other places. There's a lot more going on here. Let's keep going.
I paid money for my daughter. You know, I want her.
You hear that? You hear what she said? So people were wondering, is it just people that didn't pay? That's incorrect. Listen to what she said.
Worries the ashes that she got may not be her daughter's.
I paid money for my daughter. You know, I want her.
She paid. I don't think paying has been the problem with all of these bodies showing up. It is. I just seriously doubt it.
You know, and that's like sentimental to me. And just to have nothing, you know, it could just be just plain ash. It's not even my daughter. It's heartbreaking to know.
That's sad, man. And I'm going to tell you something. As much as we get on to people about the things that they do wrong, these are parents and family members, concerned loved ones of people that have done the right thing. They've taken care of the final payments for these people's last wishes. And all they ask for is just to have that person's ashes or commit that person's body to the earth, whatever it is. But there's legal stuff behind this. There's emotional stuff. There's religious stuff behind this. I just don't think that's something you play with. I really don't. And for them to play with this lady's baby, this baby's child. That's beyond sick. Let's keep going. Matter of fact, while we got 210 people watching, I'm gonna tell you guys something that y'all might either get pissed off at me for saying, or y'all might be like, whoa, Jay, that's hard to hear. Think about this. What about all of the young black men and all of the murders that are going on in Chicago? If this is going on in Detroit, what in the hell do you think is going on potentially in Chicago when they are having bodies on top of 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 murders on top of murders on top of murders on top of murders daily, weekly, every holiday? Take your ink pen, bookmark it. We'll come to that some other time. Think about that.
That people are out here doing sick things like that.
The Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, or LARA, says some of the bodies date back to 2015. They have suspended the license of Gary Deek, the director of Perry Funeral Home. On top of today's gruesome find, LARA says Perry failed to certify death certificates, failed to secure permits for removal of dead bodies, and embalmed dead fetuses and infants without being told by a relative of the deceased to do so. Others in the community hope this raid at Perry Funeral Home and last week's discovery at Cantrell Funeral Home will send a message to other funeral homes in our area not taking care of precious loved ones.
They hope it sends a message, man. They better do more than send a message. They better start taking some damn action against these folks. They're collecting money, getting paid for this stuff. All they got to do is just do what they say they're going to do. I'm a big person that if you tell me you're going to do something, do that thing. How many people can agree to that? If you can agree to that, hit the thumbs up or say something in the chat. If I pay you to do a service, you do that service. When I DJ, they give me the money up front, which is what I asked for before I start my services because we have a contract written out. Then best believe I'm going to show up at the time that I said I was going to be there. I'm going to perform the service that I said that I was going to do. I'm a person about my word. I give you money for something, you better give me what I asked for in return. 10 times over, if you're paying somebody to put your loved one in the dirt or give them to research or properly handle them, legally you have to do that. I think it's horrible. Lawsuit is definitely in order. Let's keep going.
A second funeral home is now under investigation after dozens of fetus remains were removed from that home today. The Detroit News is reporting more than 60 fetus remains have been removed from Perry Funeral Home. Police Chief James Craig said earlier today the home was investigated for allegations of criminal behavior.
Val said, I know when it was shut down I didn't see who you said, Val, but everybody that's posting the stories that you've heard about, thank you, because people will be able to watch this on the replay.
Authorities discovered the remains of 11 fetuses and an infant in a drop-down ceiling of the former Cantrell Funeral Home last Friday. The chief says he doesn't see a link between those discoveries and the new investigation.
It's very early. Now we're widening our investigation. I'm not saying that Cantrell is connected with Perry's. There are some similar aspects, some more broader in the Perry situation, but right now we don't see a connection.
And I'm going to tell you guys something. For him to be the police chief and for him to constantly be on camera, guys that are doing this news and recording him, please get a fucking microphone. Can y'all please do that? I can't understand nothing this man is saying most of the time. It's echoing, it's boomy. Get a microphone. Those little boom mics don't cost nothing. Just get something. I could just be an ass, but let's keep going, man.
Story tonight.
Good evening and thanks for joining us this evening. The Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs calling this case, quote, an imminent threat to public safety.
A raid at Perry Funeral Home in Detroit has uncovered the remains of 63 fetuses that were improperly stored. A tip call from a concerned parent in the middle of a lawsuit with Perry Funeral Home led to today's disturbing discoveries.
I don't think that it's an underground market. What it is that these bodies were donated to science. They were supposed to scientifically do stuff with these bodies, but they kept passing them back and forth, and maybe they didn't know what to do with. I don't know, man. It's confusing. I cannot wait for these lawsuits to get started and hear what they got to say, how they're going to explain this in court.
7 News.
Yes, a headless corpse was found at Perry Funeral Home in 1976. Thank you guys that researched. Miss Parker Lynn pointed out something that I was going to talk about in the story, but I didn't just because I was like, you know. But just know that back in 1976, because I did research this, so what she posted in there was 100% true. In 1976, there was a headless corpse found at Perry Funeral Home. Yep, same funeral home.
Reporter Allie Hoxie is live on the scene. So, Allie, do we know where these fetuses were found?
Well, we don't know where these fetuses or infants were found and what condition they were found inside the funeral home behind me. Police still here on scene tonight as their investigation continues and as the state shuts them down.
It's disgusting.
Tonight, a horrific find inside Perry Funeral Home. Police say 3 unrefrigerated cardboard boxes containing the remains of 37 fetuses and infants were found inside. Police also say an additional 26 infants and fetuses were found inside a freezer. In all, 63 fetuses and infants removed from the funeral home.
That is correct. Danny said not all of them were supposed to go to WSU. That is correct. Thank you very much. That is correct. How did they keep it open? A lot of unanswered questions, Texas 2301. A lot of unanswered questions. I don't know.
I want to cry because I don't know what's going on.
Marion Gibson says she has family members who went through Perry Funeral Home.
And we put them in the care of people that we thought was going to do what's right. And that's not seeming to be the case.
Laura says they have suspended the license of Gary Deek, the director of Perry Funeral Home. They say some of the deceased date back to 2015. On top of today's gruesome find, Laura says Perry failed to certify death certificates, failed to secure permits for removal of dead bodies, and embalmed dead fetuses and infants without being told to do so by a relative of the deceased.
This is a...
Oh my God, did y'all hear that? Oh. Yes, I know, Chance, I know. But listen to this again, guys. Let me back it up one more time.
On top of today's gruesome find, Laura says Perry failed to certify death certificates, failed to secure permits for removal of dead bodies, and embalmed dead fetuses and infants without being told to do so by a relative of the deceased.
Y'all hear that? They're embalming people without the permission of... Ooh, boy, man. How many parents do we have in the chat? Oh my God. How many parents do we have out there in the chat? Oh my God, man. 231 people watching. If y'all would, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. It'll share the show and let other people know that we're live. You know, if nothing else, just share the show. Let other people know that we're live. Yes, this is bad, man. Felicia Gibbs, shout out to you, first time watcher. Jacksonville, Florida, shout out. Thank you very, very much. All I ask for you guys to do is watch a couple of shows. Felicia, so I'll look you in the camera and I'll talk to you directly, just as well as I'm talking to everybody else. If you like what we do here at the show, where we advocate for children first, we speak about things that protect children and a lot of other things, depending on what's going on in the Black community. That's where our primary focus is. If you like the show, if you like what we talk about here, come commune with us. Think about subscribing, but watch a few shows and then come back and make your decision at that point. But thank you for being here.
This is a wake-up call. We're coming after you. We're going to find out that you're doing wrong by us, and you're going to answer for it.
Laura says any other bodies found inside Perry tonight have been taken to preferred removal services for safe storage.
I don't know how much safe storage they can actually do when it comes to, like, you know, like cremation remains and just, man, I don't know. All I can do is just tell you guys the story, man. Try to make sense of it. Let's keep going.
Yes, Amira and Alan, Perry Funeral Home claims.
Oh my God, her voice is deep. I think her voice is deeper than my voice. I'm sorry to the woman reporting this story, sweetheart. I'm sorry, but you got a very, very deep voice. Let's keep going.
Yes, Amira and Alan, Perry Funeral Home claims that the majority of infant and fetus remains found here on Friday were unclaimed remains. Detroit police found over 60, and state investigators say they found heinous conditions, including negligence and improper storage. When 7 Action News asked the lawyer for Perry Funeral Home why they had not cremated the remains of dozens of remains of infants and fetuses that Detroit police found during a raid Friday, their lawyer says because the Wayne County medical examiner said they had to check with their legal department first, and a public administrator who had given them authorization to cremate in the past wasn't responding to them. But the family of at least one infant says their baby's remains were not unclaimed. In this lawsuit, they accuse Hutzel and DMC of not following through with their wishes to make an anatomical gift to the Wayne State Medical School for research.
That never happened. The hospital was negligent in not making sure that happened.
Somebody said, "Swing low, sweet chariot." I'm sorry. We had to bring a little levity, man. This is a very gruesome story. We got to laugh from time to time. Come on, guys. Let's keep going.
After asking the families to do it.
Instead, the lawsuit alleges that Hutzel Hospital actually listed their baby as unclaimed and her remains were given to Perry Funeral Home.
Perry Funeral Home took possession of those remains and kept them at the Wayne State Mortuary Science morgue instead of making final disposition of those remains in a timely manner.
The Detroit Medical Center is not commenting because this involves a pending lawsuit.
Hope you guys caught that part. Citron134 said, "Who is Spanish? I don't know why that even matters, but I get it. I do. I can't speak Spanish, but I can damn sure read it. So I don't really know why that matters, but let's keep going."
Is not commenting because this involves a pending lawsuit. A spokesman for Wayne State University says their medical school stopped accepting fetal and infant remains for research from Hutzel Hospital in June 2015 because the hospital repeatedly failed to deliver remains or notify the school of remains in a time frame necessary for the bodies to be viable for research.
I hope you guys caught that. We'll read that part again. We'll come back to that in just a second. For bodies improperly kept beyond 180 days, a director could be charged with a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison or a $50,000 fine or both. To let you guys know that again. Now, to also shout out the people that sent me this story, I wanted to give a shout out to my guy Kevin, to Darcy Ann 66, to Nate Wynn, and to Tan Daniel. I think you guys are in the chat, and it's not even just y'all. It's a whole lot of y'all that sent these stories, like 5 or 6 people, not even including the people on Twitter and not including the people that are actually friends with me on Facebook. A ton of you guys sent me this same exact story. I want to say thank you to all of y'all.
And they say paperwork was also routinely improper or inadequate. One thing is clear, these recent revelations are unbelievably hard on the families affected.
It's reopening wounds that you thought were closed, and it's not allowing you to have the closure that you had thought you had had.
I 100%
Before
agree.
a horrible discovery, 63 infants and fetuses found inside Perry Funeral Home. Tonight, we're tracking down the owner of Perry Funeral Home and asking how this happened. 7 Action News reporter Allie Hoxie is live right outside of the funeral home. And Allie, as I understand, you spoke with a mother who says her newborn was taken there.
We're going to start getting real familiar with Allie Hoxie. I actually did get a chance to talk to her, so I wanted to say hi, Allie Hoxie. Thank you very much for supporting me and helping me with some of the information that I was looking for before on some stories. But the reason why I would say we're going to start getting real familiar with her is because as they continue to bring more of these stories, she seems to be highly involved with this stuff. And I think being a field reporter is actually a pretty difficult job. It's a very respectable job. So I want to give a shout out to her. And, you know, they definitely got their work cut out for them, man. Let's keep going.
That's right. She says she was depending on Perry Funeral Home to give a proper burial, but now she's not so sure that happened.
And I would like to have the closure just to know.
Taisha Duke says she gave birth to Julius in December of 2017, but lost him hours after birth. She says she turned his remains over to Perry Funeral Home to be buried and never got a death certificate. Once news hit of 11 fetuses being found inside the ceiling of Cantrell Funeral Home, she got worried. She called Perry Funeral Home on Thursday, the day before the police raid, to see if her baby was in fact buried.
So I had called just to see, like, well, if it's baby bodies at this funeral home, let me call and see Is my baby, you know, buried or not?
From a parent's perspective, man, this is just something you should not have to go through, man. Number one, bringing a kid into this world is already difficult as it is. Number two, I know some people, especially a friend of mine, and I know that she still suffers from this, so I'm not going to call her name out, but she knows I love her. She's my friend for life. And I know that early on, you know, she suffered a stillborn pregnancy. I know it's a hard thing to have to go through. I know that there are even mothers that have gone through this that just have not spoke about it. I'm aware that these things happen. It is a horrible, horrible thing to have to go through. It's like there's such a blessing in birth, which is why we tend to speak so negatively, me and my brother Tommy, about mothers that don't treasure this precious gift that they have when, you know, we just choose, women choose the men. You know what I'm saying? The men want to get chose. They go after who they go after who they want to choose them, and the woman has to make that choice. It is an innate responsibility and a gift of a woman's body to be able to just choose the right man. Then to have to go through a pregnancy, go through a birth, go through the pain, go through the medicines, go through, you know, the healing process of your body. I was there when my daughter was born. To go through all of that. I cut my daughter's umbilical cord. It's probably why me and my baby are so close. I want her to hear. I'm happy that she's here. We have an excellent relationship. Excellent. She's smart. She's bright. We communicate well. She listens. I love my baby. I could not imagine having to go through what these people, men and women, family members. You guys heard me talk the last time I did a show about the brother, and all he wanted to do was get his brother's his relative, his brother's remains. He was the last living kin, the last living person. All he wanted was his brother's remains. And these funeral homes dropped the ball on him. They are affecting people in a very deep, dark, spiritual, almost satanic way. Can we agree to that? Absolutely egregious. Absolutely.
She says the woman over the phone assured her that her baby was buried at Gethsemane on Gratiot Avenue in Detroit. Now that news is hit of 63 infants and fetuses found inside Perry Funeral Home, she's not so sure her baby is buried properly.
You know, this funeral home is under investigation. How do I know my baby is not in there thrown to the side?
Police say they found 37 fetuses and infants inside 3 unrefrigerated cardboard boxes and another 27 from a freezer inside Perry Funeral Home Friday afternoon. According to the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs database and the Perry Funeral Home website, the owner of Perry Funeral Home is James Vermeulen.
James Vermeulen. Edmund Carter said, my son got the most outstanding treatment when he passed the last time I held him before he was cremated. He looked like he was sleeping, man. Yo, that's deep. Prayer hands up for Edmund Carter. Thank you very much. There was somebody else, Val. Val also was wishing him love. Y'all, prayer hands up in the chat, man, for anybody that might have lost somebody or anybody even knows somebody that's going through this, anything like that. I know it's hard. Because I know a parent's love. And that doesn't take away from anybody that might not be a parent. But I got to tell you guys, there is a difference. There is absolutely a difference when you are, you know, the participant, when your DNA, you know, comes into fruition with a woman's body and you create something so beautiful, so like yourself, and it has its own mind, it thinks, it breathes. You know what I'm saying? You want to watch it develop. You are so curious. You know, you dream of what a little bit of you will look like your entire life. What it's going to be like. How smart is it going to be? What is it going to do? All of these curiosities of life, even leaving behind a legacy. So for a person to have that dream, you know, cut short behind a tragedy for whatever reason, our hearts at the So Do You Dig go out to you guys. I'm sure that must be difficult. We will definitely do what we can to do our due diligence here to keep representing children first, to speak about these things that affect us all in a way that we want to make sure that we get productive adults. The way to do that is to make sure that we have productive children. You breed them from children into something good. In turn, you should get something good as a positive result. Let's keep going.
We went to speak with Vermeulen at his home in Plymouth, but no one was home, so we gave him a call.
We're reaching out just to get both sides of the story because police are saying that 63 infants were found inside the funeral home.
He told me over the phone that he would be not making any comment and that his lawyer would be reaching out to me. Vermeulen owns 2 other funeral homes in our area, Vermeulen-Sejewski funeral homes in both Plymouth and Westland. We contacted Laura today to see if these other funeral homes are under investigation. However, we have not heard back. We just received a statement from a lawyer representing Perry Funeral Homes and James Vermeulen. It says, in part, these allegations only involve remains from a hospital who had indicated the remains were unclaimed by the parents. It states, in the case of unclaimed remains, a funeral home cannot bury the remains without proper authorization, and the law in Michigan sets forth a hierarchy of authorization. Perry relied and operated within that hierarchy, but Perry never received the legal authorization necessary to conduct a final disposition of the remains. We will put the full statement on our website at WXYZ.com. Reporting live in Detroit, Allie Hoxie, 7 Action News.
Again, man, shout out to Allie Hoxie, and I definitely appreciate her work and her dedication to her craft. I think she does a great job. I don't know if you guys saw my last video, and we're going to go ahead and cut the show right there. That's the end of the show. Thank you guys so much. But what I wanted to say was about her was that she actually went down there to Cantrell Funeral Home. I don't know if you guys saw my video about her interview that she had posted on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. I think it might have been on Facebook, but I know I found it on one of those sites on social media. And she actually talked with one of the new workers that was there working at the Cantrell Funeral Home and was just talking to him. WXYZ, that is correct. Yep. And I think you can find her WXYZ Allie Hoxie ABC or something like that. You'll have to Google search it. Yeah, man. And she went down there and she talked to the guy and was asking him about what he was finding, how much more work he had to do. You know, did it in some shape, form, or fashion scare him? You know, because you're talking about dealing with finding dead people. I mean, that's gotta be freaky, like a freaky type of job to have to do, man. That's gotta bug you out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to even be there, to take the time, and I love this right here. Stop child abuse now. You know, we definitely have to make sure and respect children, man. Because if we don't start